Right, so welcome again to my segment of my physics videos as we look at now calculating the cost of electrical energy as I look at the sample question. Remember from my previous discussion that I talked about, we said that electrical energy is equal to power multiply in this case by time. If you remember, if the energy they have told you to give in joules, it simply means your power is supposed to be in watt and your time is supposed to be in seconds. So that is when they want you to give in joules. Now suppose they want you to give in a larger unit kilowatt hour. Well, if they want to give you, remember power times time, if they want to give you electrical energy in kilowatt hour, it simply means that your power is supposed to be expressed in watt and your time is supposed to be expressed in hours. So that will give you kilowatt hour. In most cases, you're going to be using this to calculate electrical energy. Unless in your multiple choice you find that the energy is in joules, then you need to remember this. This is what we are going to talk about. So now let's deal with calculating the cost of electricity. These are some of the sample questions that have come before in the Examination Council of Zambia, questions. So these are some of the questions that you're going to find are extracted. Most of these were multiple choice, but these will give you a basis for any calculation that you're going to deal with. Well, let's look at the solutions together and see how we can go about this. So I'll start with the first one there so we can look at the solutions. Question number 1. For question number 1, it says if the electrical energy costs, 2 kwacha, if you are not able to see that, so that's a 2 kwacha, per unit. Remember what we said when they talk about, a unit. So the moment they tell you a unit, they mean 1 kilowatt hour. That's what I told you, and that's what you need to remember. So it says if the electrical energy costs 2 kwacha per unit, what is the cost of a 2 kilowatt heater for 3 hours? So according to the data that we have there, if you notice, they have given us that is 2 kilowatt. That's the power, the larger unit for power. So that is 2 kilowatt. And for how long was it operated? It was operated for 3 hours. So the first key is for you to find the electrical energy. So that's your first concept. So first of all, get to know the electrical energy. How much electrical energy does the appliance consume in these 3 hours? So the first step, I can simply say, let me just put up this for the first one. I can say step 1, find E, the electrical energy. So how do you get that? By applying the formula electrical energy is power multiplied by time. So in this case, what is my power? It is simply 2 kilowatt, and for how long? It is a 3 hours. If you combine this times that, it will give you 6 kilowatt hour. So that's the energy that was consumed. It is simply 6 kilowatt hour. Then step number 2 that you need to take, now you are now going to find the cost of using the appliance. Now there are so many ways of how you can go about that. Let me just show you both ways that you can do. Find the cost now. So you need to now find the cost of using the electrical appliance if the energy consumed was that. So since they are telling you that the cost per unit, it's 2 kwacha per unit, so I can simply say that, remember a unit is a kilowatt. So I can say 1 kilowatt hour is costing how much? It's costing 2 kwacha. What about you get now this energy there and simply say, suppose now I have 6 kilowatt hour, then how much will that cost me? So cross multiply, x times 1 is x, and therefore 6 times 2, that is going to give me a 12 kwacha. So it will cost 12 kwacha for using this appliance. So that is how you can go about that. So basically you can go about that. In simple terms, let me show you another alternative in case some people just love to go direct. If you want just to calculate the cost, it is simply a cost. You are going to say cost of a unit. So you multiply the cost of a unit multiplied by the energy used. That's what you can simply say. So what is the cost of a unit? It is simply a 2 kwacha. That's what they told us. Multiply by the energy used, that is 6. So this times that would definitely give you a 12 kwacha. So that's what we mean. So you can go direct by saying the cost of a unit times the energy that you have calculated. So that can also give you the cost of using a particular electrical appliance. So remember, this is practical. Even in your home, you can estimate how much electrical energy you can use in a month. It is possible. I'll give you some few concepts, as I conclude up my discussion. Let's move on to question number 2. Question number 2 there says that a small heater operates at 12 volts. You can imagine there 12 volts, 2 amps. How much energy will it use when it is switched on for 5 minutes? So they just want you to find out just the energy, and this was a multiple choice there. So what have they given you? The current, which is 12, they have given us the voltage, which is 12 volts, the current, which is 2 amps. And they have told us for how long the appliance was operated. It's for 5 minutes. So 5 minutes, remember you convert this to second. 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. So multiply this by 60. So that will give you a 300 seconds. Now, what do I need to do? Well, I need to calculate the electrical energy. Remember what we said, electrical energy is equal to, voltage, current times time. It's the same thing as, power times time, because we told you power is equal to voltage times current. So I've just substituted where there's power, replace it with that. 10 times the T that is there. This is the formula that you're having. So therefore, electrical energy, what's the voltage? It is 12. What's the current? It is 2. And for how long? It is 300. Remember to put it in seconds. Your options are in joules. So therefore, your power is supposed to be in watt and your time in seconds. So electrical energy, if you multiply all this using your calculator, that is, that will give you 12 times 2, that's 24, 24 times 3, that is going to give us a 70, that will give us 72. So that will be 7,200 joules. Remember, this question was not asking us to find the cost, no, but the question was simply asking us, to find the energy that was used. So this is the energy that was used for operating, the lamp. So that's the way you can go about it. Let's move on to question number 3. Let's move on to question number 3 again, so that we show you how to go about that. Question number 3 there says that what is the cost of running a 100-watt lamp for 30 minutes if electrical energy costs 10 kwacha per unit? So again, they have given us in this case, what is that? That's the power they have given us. It's 100 watt. But remember, since we are finding the cost, so right away you convert to kilowatt by dividing by 1000. Don't waste your time. That will give you 0.1 kilowatt. And your time they have given you is in minutes. That's 30 minutes. So if you want to convert minutes to hours, just divide right away by 60. So when you divide 30 divided by 60, that will give you a 0.5 hours. So the first thing to know the cost, remember, find first of all the electrical energy. Each time you need to find how much electrical energy has been used. So therefore, electrical energy is power multiplied by time. So electrical energy will be, what's the power? It is 0.1 kilowatt times the time, which is simply 0.5 hours. When you multiply those two, you are going to have 0.05 kilowatt hour. So that's the electrical energy. So now once you calculate the electrical energy, you can now calculate the cost. Remember, they told us that per unit it costs 10 kwacha. So I'm going to say 1 kilowatt hour is costing 10 kwacha. So what about if I have this 0.05 kilowatt hour? Then how much will it cost? So cross multiply. This times that will be x is equal to this times that will give you a 0.50. So in other words, it is simply a 15. So that is what we mean there. So that's the cost that you are going to have there. So this is what the question wanted you to do there. Okay, let's move on to our fourth question. So that we can see. Let's move on to our fourth question there, so that we can see how we can go about it. So question number 4 says that a 2 kilowatt stove, a 0.2 kilowatt TV set, and a 0.1 kilowatt lamp are all switched on at the same time. That's the good part. They are all switched on at the same time. But sometimes in some questions, they will not tell you that they are switched on at the same time. They can give you different times. So meaning you have to calculate the electrical energy for each appliance that you have. The question says, what is the total cost of running these appliances for 4 hours? So it becomes simple at 2 kwacha per unit. So since they are all run at the same time, then it becomes very easy. So what you do, you first of all find what is the total power. So first of all, get to know the total power of all the appliances. So they have given you for the stove, plus you're going to add for the TV, plus for the lamp. So just add that to know the total power. They are already in kilowatt, no need of you converting. So it's 2 kilowatt plus the TV, the stove is actually a 2 kilowatt, a TV 0.2 plus 0.1. So when you add all that, that is going to give us that will give us a 2.3 kilowatt. So that's the total power for all the 3 appliances. So when you get the total power now, you can know what is the total electrical energy. Total electrical energy will be the total power. It is going to be the total power, if you want, multiplied by the time that is taken. So what's the total power? It is 2.3 kilowatt. And for how long were all the 3 appliances used? They were used for 4 hours. So when you multiply that, we are going to have 9.2 kilowatt hour. So that's the total electrical energy. Remember, we can now get the cost by saying what is the cost of a unit. A unit was costing what? 2 kwacha. So get the 2 kwacha multiplied by the energy used, which is 9.2 for all the 3 appliances. So when you multiply that, the cost is going to give us 18. It is going to give us 18 kwacha for tingwe. So that's the cost that you are going to find. So basically, that is how you are going to be dealing with such, calculations. Now, let me give you another example, and give you, just some few tips that you need to remember. Let's say this was another question that came in the exam. Let's say, in a secretary's, office, there are some appliances. For example, you have got the electric. Let's say you have got an electric kettle. She uses an electric kettle. This one is rated 1200 watts. 2, let's say that she also uses a printer that is at 600 watts. And 3, let's say that she uses also a computer, and that computer is rated 100 watts. Then we tell you to say that given that the cost of electricity, is 0.8 kwacha per kilowatt hour. Then the question said calculate the cost of operating, all the 3 appliances, at once for 12 hours. All right, again, this was a multiple choice question that was given. So let's try to find out how we can actually do that. Well, don't waste even time. The moment you find that they have given you in watt, and they have told you the cost is 0.8 kwacha per kilowatt, you know that you need to express the energy in kilowatt hour. So divide this right away by 1000. That will give you a 1.2 kilowatt. Again, divide that 600 by 1000. That will give you a 0.6 kilowatt. And divide this 100 by 1000. Remember, we are converting. That will give you a 0.1 kilowatt. So the first step, like I told you, is to find what is the total power by adding the energy, the power for the kettle, the printer, and the computer. So 1.2 plus 0.6 plus 0.9. What is that going to give us? Well, the total power is simply going to give us that is simply going to give us a 1.9 kilowatt. So that's the total power. So once you get the total power, you need now to know what is the total energy that was used. Total energy will be the total power times the time. So the total energy will be, what's the total power? It's 1.9 kilowatt. And remember, for how long were these used? They told us for 12 hours. So multiply by 12 hours. So when you multiply, you are going to have 22.8 kilowatt hour. So that was the energy that was consumed. Now to calculate the cost, remember we said the cost, you simply get per unit. According to that, it says per kilowatt, it's costing that. So I'm going to say, oh, since it is 0.8 per kilowatt, you just multiply by this one, which is 22.8, kilowatt hour. So when you multiply that, it is going to give us 18 kwacha 24 ngwe. So that is basically the cost of using those three appliances by the secretary. So now a few concepts that I wanted you to appreciate or to understand is that in the exam, they are going to be using also ngwes. You are going to find that they are going to be using ngwes. So when they use ngwes in your manners, they just want to confuse you. You should remember that one, sorry, let me just write it like this. You should remember that 1 kwacha is equal to 100 ngwe. So you can simply convert that. So 100 kwacha is equal to 100 ngwe. So that is what you need to remember. So you can use that to convert between ngwes and kwacha. Now, sometimes they can tell you it was used for days. Now, if they are telling you it was used, maybe it involves days. Let's say you used it for, maybe you used an appliance for 6 days. You can know what is the total. You can know what is the total time. Remember, for 6 days, in a day, 1 day is equivalent to 24 hours. So in a day, it is equivalent to 24 hours. So that's what you need to remember. So what about 6 days? So you can just say 6 multiplied by what? By 24 hours. So when you multiply 6 by 24, that is actually going to give you, how many hours you have used a particular electrical appliance. So if you multiply 6 multiplied by 24, I'm going to have 144 hours. So you don't need even to worry. Suppose they tell you maybe for 30 days, or 1 day is equal to 24. So meaning that the total time that you take, you're just going to say 30 days multiplied by what? By 24 hours, because in a day, there's 24 hours. That is what you need to remember. So 30 days multiplied by, since each day is 1 hour. So what would that slightly give us? So 30 multiplied by 24, it will give us a 720 days. The same for a week, just multiply, a week is simply 7 days multiplied by 24 hours. So that is the concept that you need to remember. Please watch out for my videos as I look at appliance rating. I will look at the fuse rating and also the 3-pin plug. Thank you so much for watching.